I wasn't even looking for a job in IT. I had no idea what a developer was. I did not know what roles existed in IT. I just needed something different. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kaylah Raye. I'm a lead software engineer managing a team of 6 after just 5 years in IT. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my IT story, how I got into IT, and what it took for me to navigate this space. I never would have guessed that I would be in this space or that I would enjoy technology so much. I was the girl in school that hated math, hated science, and I always shied away from anything that mentioned STEM. I actually graduated with a degree in English liberal arts. And to be honest, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my degree outside of school. I graduated thinking, oh, I can write, I can edit, I can publish, I can do something in this field. And that just wasn't my experience. I graduated with this English degree and worked a ton of odd jobs trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. I've worked in collections, I've worked in customer service, I've worked in retail, I've worked in food service. Those were the only jobs that I could get a call back for. Anytime I applied for anything related to the English field, either I wasn't in the right location, I wasn't yet ready to relocate, and it just was not as easy as I thought it would be. I got to the point where I was miserable and something had to change. I wasn't using my degree. I really was changing jobs pretty often, trying to find something that felt valuable. Now, thankfully, I was still living at home with my parents, and so I did have a little bit more flexibility than most. But making enough to cover my car note just wasn't cutting it. I got to the point where I didn't want to settle. So I made myself a promise. I quit my last job as a collections agent. It was not for me. So this time I committed to looking for a job full time. I decided that I wouldn't take any more call center positions and that I would not agree to continue working another job that I felt like would be temporary. I really wanted a career and somewhere that I could actually stay. So I was unemployed for 4 months and it was tough. I drained my savings and I spent a ton of time looking at jobs, reading job descriptions. I updated my resume on every job site you could think of, not knowing even what field I was looking for, just to see what would happen. Now, I'm not telling you to go quit your job tomorrow, but you do have to get to a point in your journey where you're no longer willing to settle. And that's honestly where I was. So I took a chance and it absolutely paid off. Now, my dad is actually an engineer, and so he talked to me a little bit about business analyst positions, about opportunities to get into IT, but I really didn't know what that meant. IT is not something that we talked about very often when we discussed career paths, and I think it took a long time for me to realize that every application that we use, everything we do on our phones, someone actually had to program. But at this point, it was 2016, and the only coding experience that I had was playing with my MySpace page. If you guys remember MySpace, when you could add music to the page, put things in bold, have things falling from the top of the page. Outside of that and just being able to type, I had zero IT experience. A recruiter from a coding bootcamp actually reached out to me. I definitely thought it was a scam. I've never heard of anyone getting a job this way, but I had nothing to lose. So I went to the interview. It was the best decision that I could have made. It was such a leap of faith. And even after going to the program, hearing about the aim of the boot camp and their focus on women from non-traditional backgrounds and veterans, and really a commitment to get more people into this IT space, I still was hesitant. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but it felt like the answer to my prayers. So I decided to trust God and just go for it. I had to go through the interview process, pass a few SAT-like tests, but the test really blew my mind because it focused so much more on logic than it did math and science. And so it gave me a new perspective to what I felt was possible, even in the STEM space, because it's a world where I never saw myself fitting in. So I landed a spot in the boot camp, and it was actually paid. Now, it paid next to nothing, but it paid something. So still, not even knowing what a developer was 100%, besides the things that I quickly Googled, I know that I was stepping into a 4-month training program that at the end was aiming to connect me with a company that I could work with to start my IT career. I actually learned Java in this program, and so that is my first programming language. And I was fortunate enough to land my first development role 6 months after my training program ended. This was 5 years ago. Since then, I've learned a ton about programming, several programming languages, and more importantly, the way to approach problems, to think like a software engineer. And I'm not going to pretend like it was easy. IT is hard. Today, writing code and software development is still hard for me. I spend a lot of time studying. I spend a lot of time feeling like I was failing. I had to work to learn to shift my thinking. I'm not a magician, and writing code doesn't always click for me automatically. I'm still learning every single day. I'll definitely talk more about learning how to code in a future video. There are so many ways to get into tech, and your unique perspective coming from a non-traditional background as someone who does not have a computer science degree makes you so valuable in this space. I can't wait to see more Black women, women of color, and people from non-traditional backgrounds in these rooms with me. I would love to hear about your IT journey. If you're someone who is currently in tech or looking to get into the technology field in the future, leave me a comment below and tell me about your IT journey. My tech journey is only beginning. Subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another upload. I will see you in the next video.